It's being hailed as a new computing era. Technology giant Nvidia's sales have hit a record and more than doubled as demand for its artificial intelligence chips soars. Revenue jumped above $13.5 billion for the second quarter. The company's stock market value has more than tripled this year to about $1.2 trillion. The company also says it expects revenue of around $16 billion for the 3 months to the end of September. And that's much higher than Wall Street expectations and works out as a rise of around 170% compared to the same time last year. Nvidia currently ranks as the 6th most valuable company in the world. Well, let's talk to Santosh Rao, who's head of research at Manhattan Venture Partners. Good to see you, Santosh. Thanks for joining us, as always. So we've seen these huge numbers from Nvidia, and it's all down to AI.
Absolutely, AI. They own this space, especially the AIs that they work on, the GPUs. So I think what you saw in this quarter, if there was any doubt, that this company is the absolute juggernaut in when it comes to AI chips. They are totally dominating. They sit in the sweet spot of where the spending is and where the enterprises are prioritizing their spending. Everyone wants to accelerate their applications, and you need AI chips for that. And Nvidia is right there. So the data centers are getting upgraded and everything, the transition going on. So this company is situated right there in the sweet spot. So big beneficiary, great market ahead, and you saw it in the numbers. Everything is off the chart.
So you say they're dominating. What's the potential for the company, though? It's already the first trillion-dollar chip firm. How much further can it go?
It can go a lot more because the demand is just beginning. I mean, even this quarter, they just met only 50% of the demand that they have. So there's tremendous demand out there. You can even say that it's a $1 trillion market in terms of the transition that needs to take place in the data centers. So there's a huge market. It may not be sky high, but it's definitely 1 trillion high if you look at it in that sense. So there's a huge market. Yes, at some point there's going to be it's slow down, but at this it's early stage. They are the leaders. They have the 80 to 90% of the market in terms of those GPUs that they work on. AMD is far behind. There will be competition down the road, but at this point, they are the ones, so they will grow. Can definitely continue to grow. There's definitely upside here. And they said the demand, they have the supply for next year. The demand is there. So it's definitely 1 year visibility is definitely there, but it's more going to come on down the road. So you're definitely going to see for the next few years tremendous runway ahead for this company.
Well, let's talk about that demand, because you say they can meet it for the next year, but AI is only going to continue growing, isn't it? Be potentially that they can't keep up with that demand?
Well, at this point, they have the capability to scale up. They said they can meet the demand. Originally, the supply was the issue, but that issue is not there anymore. Not in the at least next 1 or 2 years. So they are definitely that's not an issue at this point. There can be some macro issues down the road. Taiwan Semiconductor makes their chips. The fabs are there. So there's some macro headwind possibility, any China-US relation and all that stuff. But at this point, they don't see that as an issue. Sales were still 20 to 25% like their normal run rate from China. So that hasn't been disturbed yet. So that risk is there down the road. But now, for near term, to the extent that every company needs to speed up their applications, they need the AI, and every company across verticals, they are in fact ordering more chips because they don't know how soon they need anything. So there's a big anticipation game going on and a lot of ordering going on. So, and they can meet that. They've seen the demand, they see the demand curve, and they're meeting it with the supply. So that's not an issue, at least next few years.
So you've talked about how dominant they are at the moment. Are there those some other companies challenging in the background? Any other companies we should be keeping an eye on?
There are, of course, companies coming up. In fact, even the big tech companies, right now, they are big customers of Nvidia and down the road, AMD. But they are also going to produce the chips down the road. But at this point, Nvidia is the only game in town. There's smaller smaller companies coming up, the startups, Sambonova, Grok, and a few other companies that are doing the apps, doing the chips for the AI chips there will be a competition down the road. But at this point, the scale and the sophistication of their chips is unmatched. So I think they have a clear runway ahead. At some point, competition will catch up. Demand will slow to the extent that companies need to digest all the demand and get it into their system. So there is always this thing, but the secular curve is still up to the right, because the demand, as you see it, is going, and you have this generative AI ahead of it. There's tremendous demand coming from there, to the extent that's going to totally transform the way we live our lives and conduct our businesses. I think that's going to be another huge leg up for this whole AI space.
Santosh, great to talk to you as always. Thank you for joining us. Santosh Rao, Head of Research at Manhattan Venture Partners.
Thank you.